Hi, my name is Kathy, and I am the face of multiple sclerosis. That was an ominous comment made by the doctor I had just started working for approximately 4 years ago. I just finished up working as a coordinator of a large research study nationwide on the effects of hormones on breast cancer and other types of cancers, as well as diet and nutrition and exercise. When that finish was completed after 10 years, I then looked for another job in clinical research and saw that Dr. Riskind had an opening for a coordinator. So I applied, and not knowing that much about multiple sclerosis, even though I'm a nurse, I hadn't dealt with anything like that for a long time. I asked him what type of people get MS. Well, what he told me was that I was the poster child for MS. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, your light complexion, your brown eyes or blue eyes, light hair, light skin, Northern European ancestry are the typical patients that you would see in the clinic for multiple sclerosis. Now, I was already in my 50s at that time. Was I? No, probably in my late 40s. And so I started doing the clinical trials and loved it. Absolutely loved it. Learned so much. Loved the people who worked in MS, who are very, very special people. And about 2 years into it, I started not feeling very well and exhausted, hard to stay focused. I just thought it was, stressors in my family, things going on. But come to find out, working in an MS center, you're in great hands because people start noticing things about you. I remember Peter called me in his office one day and said, Kathy, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm afraid that something is wrong. And I, explained to him how I'd been feeling. And then suddenly the falls started, and I started falling. And now, like I said, I was around 50 when, I was in my 50s when this all started, which is older for someone who gets MS. So in that sense, I'm lucky. I didn't have to live my whole life relapsing and remitting and dealing with my children and husband and, doing everything you need to do when you have a family. The sad thing is, by getting it at this age, I have developed primary progressive MS. As you see on the outside, I look fine. On the inside, not so fine. I think that if you have large gaping wounds or bandaged heads, or people understand your illness, that something's wrong with you. But when you look fine, they don't see it. They say, Mom, instead of laying down in the afternoon and napping, you'd probably feel better to go for a walk. And what they don't understand is that my body has reached its limit and I can't go for a walk. But what I found from this disease is that MS steals your life. It doesn't kill you, but you lose about half of your life to sleeping, and your whole day works around sleeping. Okay, if we're going to do this, is it going to be time for me to lay down, take a nap? Otherwise, I won't get through the day. So what we do is, I've been swimming when I can. I belong to the Y, and that helps a lot. Medication to help my symptoms, and the rest is just trying not to overdo it and try to come to grips with it. And that's a real hard part too. I've spent the better part of the last year denying, really that I had it, and every time that would happen, something would come up and and I just say, yeah, it's the mess, you know. It sucks. um, I had my appointment this week with my MS doctor, and she wrote out a prescription for a rolling walker. I think they are with the brakes and all that. I left the office crying because I'm not ready for that. I'm so afraid to progress to that. I use a cane when I'm walking any distance. I can walk around the house fine because for the most part there's nothing in my way, even floors, nothing, no problem. Walking outside, you know, you tend to fall if your foot doesn't lift up high enough to over the curb, or you step in a divot in your lawn. So I do use my cane, but I'm not sure I'm ready to take that leap into a rolling rocker yet, although she had very good reasons for wanting me to do that. So anyways, I don't know if I'm going long on this, but I just wanted to check in with my fellow MS people out there. I don't want to say sufferers, because we have to learn to live with it. The bright side of it, every cloud has a silver lining, and my silver lining are my grandchildren. I had to retire and go out on disability because of the fatigue and my inability to work, you know, regularly. It wasn't fair to my boss. It wasn't fair to me. My doctor said I can do one thing a day, and that one thing could be working, and my life would consist of going to work, coming home, going to bed, and that's not living. So I chose to go out on retirement and receive disability, and because of this, I do get to see my grandchildren more. They live nearby, so I won't miss their growing up, which is really important to me. I get to spend time with my mom. She's been great. She's here every day helping me and sitting by hospital beds when I've been sick, and just being my she's my savior. She's my right hand. I've been closer to her over the past 2 years than I think I ever have in my whole life. So I have, hope to be able to pay her back someday and be able to take care of her the way she takes care of me. So anyways, I'll check in again. I have my cats, and Apollo and Jasper, and everyone seems to love them. And when I hear something exciting or new about MS, I will share it with you. But actually, I bought a cello. So next time on, I'll bring my cello and explain it and tell you what I think of it. So hopefully everyone will have a good night. My name is Kathy, signing off. Good night. This is my first time, so I have to figure out that must be stop.